rally finishes, but more far-right protests are expected at Charlottesville in the months to come. A week later, an important far-right leader has agreed to meet me.
The white race in general, in fact, Western civilization in general, is under a full assault. A lot of statistics are saying that the whites are going to be a minority here in this country. Our stance has been that we'd like a homeland of our own for white people.
He says his movement is growing. Partly, he says, because of Donald Trump.
A lot of the things that he was saying, build a wall, stop illegal immigration, bring back American jobs. So he was saying things that could have been right, a lot of things that were right out of our playbook that we've been saying for years. We've been kind of on the fringes for a long time, and with our talking points finally appearing in the White House, nationalism has become more mainstream.
Jeff hates the idea of multiculturalism. He thinks it's part of a plot against the white race.
I think it goes back to the Zionists and the Jews. Jews control all the media, and they're pushing this agenda that we should all mix together, and I think it's to dumb down the population and to make us easier to control.
And what if you're wrong? Do you ever question yourself and think, what if all of this that I'm doing and all of this that I think, what if it's wrong? Organization in America.
Cultural invasion from Mexico and every other third world cesspool that's coming here to try to overrun our borders.
The National Socialist movement reveres Hitler, and until recently, their symbol was the swastika. For the first time ever in my life, I am about to meet a neo-Nazi.
For our people in the case of Antifa or leftist attack.
We fight for our women and our kids and our family and our community, and we just want to be left alone.
They better be prepared for a fight.
A very violent, bloody one.
Do you think there's going to be a race war?
As far as I'm concerned, it started already. Charlottesville was probably the spearheaded battle.
You feel that?
I do. I think they're testing us to see what we have. How many of us, how willing we are to march in through the valley of potential death.
This is Mike Schleyer. He's a former military contractor and is their longest-serving member.
I've had my share of trials and tribulations throughout my life that I have overcome and conquered, as far as my own inner demons go.
What kind of inner demons do you have?
Just past experiences, being over there in Iraq for a couple of years, it's taken a toll on me. Seeing the mortars coming down and people getting blown up and dismembered and screaming for help, and then seeing the destruction that they cause. I still wake up middle of the night, cold sweats, shaking, thinking I'm still over there. But I still carry it with me.
He's willing to die for his cause.
He's going to be back in Charlottesville.
14 words is we must secure the existence of our race and a future for white children.
And 88,
HH,
which stands for?
Al Hitler.
This is America. We still got freedom of speech.
That's right. This is our PR director, Brian Culpepper.
Hello.
Good to be here.
Ma'am.
The NSM is trying to soften its image and appeal to a wider public. So they're removing the swastikas from their shields.
It's part of trying to bring the party's image into a more mainstream for the new millennium.
Far-right groups from all over the country are converging for the event. I'm the only outsider who the NSM have allowed to accompany them here.
Gentlemen, come join us.
This was the greatest
biggest assemblage of white identitarians I've personally ever seen.
We are the forces of light and civilization, and we are fighting against the forces of darkness.
Obligations and duties that other people don't.
Why are you someone who should lead?
I think that's obvious. But why do I need to even talk about it?
Say it. Tell me
It's not
why.
better. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something.
Go on.
All right. Elites rule the world. Elites make history. The question is who? Who is in charge? That's what matters. People like me need to be in charge. We determine the course of world history in ways that other races can't even dream of.
And part of your greatness is the exploitation of other people. Part of what's made this country great.
We did it. We took it. We took it with force. We won. We took the entire continent. That's what matters.
Outside his apartment, protesters have gathered to hold a vigil for Heather Heyer, the woman who was killed at Charlottesville.
Good to see you. You guys just stare at me in a dead kind of vibe.
In this video, I want to cover what is obviously what's happening in the West, okay, and in America. One of the voters of Donald Trump said that based on what he said, it has given them the license to run havoc and to be able to make threats to kill and to promote white nationalism. This is what one of them says. If I can find the video, I'll promote it, right?
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
I'd like to say, you know, a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. We have a lot of bad criminals that came into this country, and they came in stupidly. It was an unforced error. It was an incompetent president that allowed it to happen. But I think getting them out, you know, we forget about them. We had some bad accidents in New York, and they're not accidents. They were done very much in purpose. People being pushed into a subway just before it arrives, going 40 miles an hour. And they're 10 feet away from where the thing is. You get pushed right into the face of the subway train, get whacked and killed. And these are sick people. I'd like to get them out of here too.
And post it. And he said that, you know, this is giving them the license, you know, to make threats to kill and to endorse white nationalism. What's interesting is that obviously everyone is aware, even the racists themselves is aware that there is a problem, you know, hatred, you know, a fire of hate burning in Europe and America, notably America and Britain, okay? But what's interesting is that you have the likes of Kemi Badenoch, Cynthia G, and Candice Owens, who are adding fire to the flame. They know exactly what's happening, but there's a conflict of interest, and you can see why. There's a conflict of interest, and who's pulling their strings. They have nothing negative to say about groups like the KKK. They have nothing negative to say about those who make threats, you know, to kill, to murder, as you will hear in this video, making threats to kill and to murder. But Candice Owens have nothing to say, nothing whatsoever. Is the money so sweet? You know, does the money tantalize her brain so much that it just shut out any reason that she would rather keep her mouth shut than offend those who pay her bills. Why do you think Candace Owens all of a sudden are peddling conspiracy theories that the liberal France Michel, his wife, is a man? You know, and even though they threatened to sue her, she backpedaled. She made her money. Just like Kemi Budgenush. The only reason why Kemi Budgenush, Britain's version of Candace Owen, is now coming out with racism is only because, right, it's tipped that they're going to get rid of her. She's the same woman who says that racism doesn't exist. Her husband's white, she's black, there's a conflict of interest. So she said racism doesn't exist, it's all in black people's minds. Then when it suited her, when she was no longer needed, suddenly she said she's been through more racism than anybody could dream of. When it suits them, when they're about to find out that they're no longer needed, same as Candace Owens, she wasn't invited to Donald Trump's do. She wasn't invited to Charlie Kirk's memorial. You know, they used for a purpose and then they get spit out and got rid of. But what's interesting, they have nothing to say. Black women like these have nothing to say about the dangers of the far right that, you know, that's growing. It's scary. Many people, Muslim blacks, are making videos, even, you know, that their lives are in danger. They can see it, they can smell it in the air. But Candace Owens, quiet about it. Black women who are married to white guys are quiet about it. There's a conflict of interest. If their partner loves them so much, why is it that their partners have nothing to say about protecting their mixed-race children? They have nothing to say about, you know, something, we better vote properly, we better make sure we're on the right side. But they have nothing to say. They could have said, you know, but black women are married to white guys, have nothing to say about racism growing in America and Britain. In fact, if anything, they're attacking the victims. It makes you realize that these people are dangerous. It reminds you of slavery. People always saying, well, black people saw blacks into slavery. You can see why. At the end of the day, when they are eating from the master's table, when they are taking food from the master's table, and there's a conflict of interest, they're willing to sell you out all over again. You know, I was shocked when I saw this video. I was shocked. I thought, oh my gosh, I got to share it and discuss it. You got Candace Owens, right, have nothing to say. Better kick the ball for the dog, right? She has nothing to say whatsoever about racism growing in America and in Britain and the KKK. If anything, they're calling black people who are fighting back the KKK. You know, they turning on white supremacy. They're turning it on. They figure they're safe. Let's see how long for. She wasn't even invited to Donald Trump's do. She wasn't even invited to Kirk, Charlie Kirk. They used her. They used her, just like they used Kemi Budgenush. These black women love to be used by white supremacists, yet at the same time ignore that racism is growing in the West. Serve them right.